everybody. Finally, welcome to our first webinar, which is majorly on relationships. So, my name is JoyEve, and this is B&M Safe Zone, your place of safety, your place of a sound mind, and your place of strength and productivity. So, today we'll be talking about the different aspects of relationship, which includes introduction on relationship. Two, also we'll be talking about the different types of relationships, how to maintain valuable relationships, and maturity in relationships, and finally, healing from past wounds of relationships. So I want to welcome you, and I want to tell you how we congratulate you for taking this opportunity to learn and to be better and also heal. Yeah, so we'll definitely start with relationships. So, what are relationships? So, basically, relationships are any kind of associations or connections between a person, whether intimate, platonic, positive, or negative. So, you've had interactions with people, and a place where you've gotten connection with someone, that is a relationship. It could be negative, it could be positive, but still, as long as you have had a point of connection, that's what relationship is. So we've all known that there are different kinds of relationships. Today we'll be talking about a different kind of relationships, which is a romantic kind of relationship. But basically, the advice I will be giving you, or the tips I will be giving you, will be, you can use it in all sorts of relationships. So there are 4 basic types of relationships. That's one, family relationships, there's friendships, there's acquaintances, and there's romantic relationships. But we'll be majorly focusing on romantic relationships. So, what are the different types of romantic relationships? So, I really encourage you to comment. I want you to send messages, reach out if you have any question, if you need any form of assistance, any form of query that you would like to talk about. Just talk to us and just comment on our YouTube or all channels that you are connected with on B&M. So what are the different types of romantic relationships? There's 1 is dating, 2 committed relationships, 3 casual relationships, casual sex, situationship, and ethical monogamy. So what are dating? So many people out there are already dating. So I believe we all know a sneak peek of what dating is. It's really being able to spend time with someone with a goal of either long term or short term, but majorly your intention is to actually make something serious. So that's really what dating is about. Most of the time people go out, they spend out together, because that's really what dating is. 2, it's committed relationships. This is actually normally the next step of dating for most people, but not necessarily a relationship end up to committed relationships, where now you have a label on someone. They could be your girlfriend, could be your wife, could be your husband. That's really what a committed relationship is. And in such a relationship, both the man and the woman look for opportunities to expect from one another, expect love, expect outings, expect all these good things. So the other one is casual relationships. So in casual relationships, so this is where also primarily people come together with no specific emotional attachment, and it is basically a relationship, but they do not have specific expectations from one another. So they may be just going out, but eventually when it dawns down to if one person wants something from the other, they really don't have any obligation to ask from the other person. That's what a casual relationship is. The other one is casual sex. As well, it's primarily sex. Most of the time these people are normally not emotionally connected. Situationship really is a situation where 2 people who like each other but really do not know what they want for even that relationship. They may be, most of the time it's really when people are flirting with each other, but they're not really sure if they want it to be a girlfriend boyfriend or they really want it long term. So it's really at a hanging balance, and eventually the ethical non monogamy. Yeah. So this is where someone may have different kind of relationships. Some people may call it um, polygamy, but also there are people who simply have so many people who they are dating and still having sex with. So those are the basic romantic relationship that we have. So topic 2. So how now do you maintain valuable relationships? But first you need to understand what is a valuable relationships and how do you. So valuable relationships are relationships that actually build you. So a valuable relationship is really like measured according to growth. So where you realize that every time I'm with a specific person, I'm able to grow, I'm able to become the best of who I was created to be. I'm just able to thrive. So then when you realize you're in such a relationship where you become the best of you, how then do you maintain that? How are you able to stay in such a relationship? So what you do to be able to build valuable relationships is to be able to be the person who you would want someone else to be for you. So if you're really targeting to have a close relationship or targeting to actually maintain a valuable relationship with someone who you've noticed that is really thriving, is by ensuring that you are the person who you would want them to be for you. And most of the times, in so many situations, you end up maintaining such valuable relationship because they always feel like you have their best interest in heart. But I do understand there are people who may feel, a bit like, no, I don't feel like I want to give my all. Majorly, it's because they struggle with trust, and trust is really a facade that most of us normally carry to protect ourselves. It's a barrier of fear where you fear that once I'm kind to this person, they'll take advantage of me. So what do you do? Sometimes in relationship, even now that we're talking about this, topic of valuable relationships, it means you've already found people who are connected to you, people who are able to receive love from you. So even in relationships, you're not going around forcing people to like you. You're not going around forcing people who don't want to be close to you to be close to you. So once you have someone, ensure that this person is someone who's actually receiving from you. If someone is not receiving from you, then even love itself speaks that it's important to actually allow them to to go to someone else who they can receive love from. But if they cannot receive love from you, then there are so many other people who you can always. And I know there are people who feel like, if this person goes, I will not be able to have any other person to love. I know it's normally a perception, but there are so many people. If you look around, people who you're working with, who you are working with, or who you are living with, are people who would really like you to share and express that kindness, that goodness, and you'll be surprised that you are able to really connect with so many people. So yeah, so think about it and see. So the other topic is how to differentiate between a useful and a not so useful relationship. So just the same as valuable relationship. A valuable relationship is actually a useful relationship. An invaluable relationship is a not so useful relationship, or otherwise very useless. So sometimes relationships should be viewed from a place of growth or individual growth. So being able to measure your growth with a person, and when they are not with you, you can sense if that relationship is useful or not so useful. So it's majorly on your growth. How are you growing emotionally when you're with someone? Are you growing bitter? Are you growing essentially worse emotionally? How are you growing even other aspects of your life? So if whenever you're with someone, you kind of feel you're not growing, you're not becoming the better person you were created to be, um, then you can be able to, feel for yourself if they're actually a useful relationship. So, you know, yeah, feel for yourself. Is this a really useful relationship for me? If I'm not even growing emotionally, I'm drained, yeah. So you check and judge for yourself your relationship connecting to growth. And not also, growth doesn't necessarily mean them giving to you, but also how you are able to give to them. So whenever you give to them, you feel fulfilled, you feel better, and truly this is a useful relationship, because every time I give, I feel so I feel so fulfilled. So this is something that you can think about. So then, what happens if you have a destructive relationship? If you realize, this relationship, it's draining me emotionally. I can't seem to move forward. I'm always afraid. I'm always timid. Then how do you detach from that aspect of, you know, from that aspect of a destructive or unuseful relationship? So most of the time, it's actually not good for us to be in such relationships. And if we are not careful, it can actually lead to the death of so many people. There's so many ladies who've been in horrible relationships, guys who've been in horrible relationships, and right now they're carrying the wounds of what they've already experienced. So it's very, very important first to get rid of a sense of condemnation. So the first thing, even before you do anything, ensure you are free from guilt, from self-condemnation, beating yourself, and get rid of anything that makes you feel bad. Because most of the times when in such relationships, most of the people tend to be engulfed in so much guilt, in feeling bad, in negative sentiments. So first of all, get rid of every self-condemnation, you know release it. And always know, like how I always tell the clients who always come through BNM, is that the first person who has the responsibility to take care of themselves is you. You are the one who's supposed to be taking care of yourself before anybody else. So always look to yourself and see if you're actually protecting yourself by shielding yourself from condemnation. And if you need to change the environment, then it is necessary. So if then you feel like you're too emotionally weak and I can't, then seek therapy. Seek people who can help you to gain back yourself as a person and regain your emotional strength, so that you can be able to detach from that environment or person, and so that you can live effectively with people who actually receive your love, who you can connect with, and so that you can live your life fully. So that's really it. So then, as a person, how do I know that I'm mature in a relationship? So what is really maturity in a relationship? Who is a mature person? So maturity is normally based on stability. So maturity is really a place of stability. So a mature person is a person who is stable. Stable in the sense that you're able to be in your own self. Even when you're mingling with people, you're able to maintain yourself, and you're not like yourself, meaning not necessarily bad habits, but your personality, your uniqueness. So you are unique. God created you very unique. You are wonderfully made, and maturity causes you to be able to stay in a place where you are stable in that personality. Even when you're in a relationship, you're still stable in that form of your own self. So also, and maturity also means being able to be at a place of balance. While you are in yourself, being able to explore your abilities, you're able also to balance being with someone else who you love, who you're with, but still maintain your originality and your oneness, and allowing your partner to be unique, to be different, and also putting boundaries when you are you are either trying to change and change their uniqueness or trying to change your own uniqueness. So these are some of the things that we look in maturity. So maturity also means balance, being yourself and also with the other person, helping, with the other person without actually feeling guilty. Yeah, being yourself without actually feeling guilty. Most of the times, people in relationships feel guilty being themselves, feel guilty, and sometimes I ask them, if you found yourself this way, God created you wonderfully this way, and he gave you all this uniqueness, then why do you feel like then it was a mistake? Because most of the times guilt comes from a place of feeling like this is a mistake, maybe I should conform and maybe be like someone else. But then if God created you so wonderful, then why then should you like change yourself to be as if it's a mistake? It is not a mistake. You are uniquely beautiful. You're uniquely as you are. You're in your personality. So maturity is really coming to that place of accepting yourself in your uniqueness, in your personality, and being able to be yourself even with your partner without feeling guilty. I love doing these things and I don't need to feel guilty about it. I'll give you space, I'll give you your space to be you, but I don't need to feel bad about being me. And that is where maturity comes in. And if you're able to bring that maturity in, you're able to give your spouse the space to be themselves as well. You are able to live in harmony and you're able to be fulfilled even when you're in a relationships. So think about it. These are some of the things that actually like build. So how do I get to that place of maturity? So right now you're feeling like you're so engrossed in the relationship, you feel like you've lost yourself. So how then can you be able to bring yourself back from from immaturity to maturity so that you can enjoy your relationship? So first, as I said, it's most of the time it's pretty the same thing. So get rid of self-condemnation. Condemnation is really a state of beating yourself up or even receiving negative sentiments from other people. Self-condemnation is actually the root of all insecurity. So deal with that aspect of beating yourself. Do not beat yourself for who you've been created. You've been created wonderful. You have a unique personality, and embrace it. There's no one else who's like you. You are different, you're separated, and you are wonderful. So embrace yourself and don't allow any other thing be able to don't receive any other negative thing that separates you for who you have already been created. The other thing, avoid condemnation and be kind to yourself regardless of the situation. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself and be able in be kind to yourself. And as you're doing these things, as you're good to yourself, you're kind to yourself, as you're accepting yourself, you position yourself to a healthy road of a healthy relationship with or without a spouse. So think about it. So the final topic is, now that you've already learned about maturity, you've learned about valuable relationships, you have learned about the different kinds of relationships, you've already gauged yourself now. But then what if you've already gone through a heartbreak and this is something that has been hurting you for so long? How then are you able to overcome that space of heartbreak? So most of us have gone through relationships that have not worked out and ended up horrible or unexpectedly. So it doesn't have to be even sexual, but even other types of relationship, and it is so hard. And it is hard going through a detachment from someone who you actually have created a culture with, who you've grown with. So it's pretty hard. And it's not something, this is not a topic that we talk. Sometimes it's a process. So as hard as the healing process is, it is necessary for it to happen. It's so necessary for you to heal, to also have to experience a better experience with someone else. So in this situation, I normally use the grieving techniques to help, because most of the times when you detach from someone is actually the same detachment that we experience every time we lose someone who we really care for and they've already died. So one of they're normally like 6 to 5 stages of um oh God, of grief. So one is the shock that you guys have broken up. Maybe yes, you're the one who broke up, but then when you go home and realize, oh my God, this person will not be here with me. First, you go to a sense of shock, and maybe you can go to a place of denial. Where you don't accept that it has happened. Then you go to a place of anger. You may get angry at yourself or get angry at the other person, but then you get over the anger and you start bargaining, and you start wondering, what if we get back together? How will that look like? And then you realize, honestly, in this situation I don't see us getting together. Then from that place you get to, when you realize that there's nothing you can do about it, whether you're from either part, either side, you can actually get to a place of depression where you feel your helplessness. You feel that now the journey is going to, you have to change things to become different. And then finally, once you have internalized, the problem with so many people reach to that place of depression and they never move forward. So if you're at that place of depression, it's very important to actually have someone to walk you through the process. So if someone is able to process the emotions, able to, like, see the situation and see other sides, they're able to go to the final state, which is acceptance. Acceptance is where you accept that the relationship is over and you start now looking for alternatives to, maybe fill that place. That doesn't necessarily mean a relationship, but could also even mean something else. It could be maybe taking classes, starting on your career, something new that you'd like to do. So this is basically some of the things that you go through. So as a person, you need to be able to understand yourself. Now that you've been wounded, you've been hurt, where is your process right now? Are you at the acceptance? Are you at the depression, bargaining, anger, denial, or shock? And that's basically today's webinar. And kindly, if you want any question, if you have any questions or anything you'd like to reach out to us on, kindly comment on our YouTube page, and also reach out on our phone number, which is 0759019090, or email on info@bnmsafezone, and get to interact with us. Let's get talking. And if you need therapy, then let's connect and talk about the things that are actually happening in the society. Thank you so much and have a lovely, lovely time.